There's a certain level of dysfunction when we talk about Black love, right? And that's the next topic we want to talk about real quickly is the level of, it seems like ride or die. I know you're big on that, right? For example, ride or die is maybe a little dysfunctional, right? Like ride or die is a little, maybe, I don't know if I disagree with that, but we'll see, right? And then even monogamy, right? For some people could be a problem because did we settle for monogamy? Is that what we wanted? Or did we have to negotiate?
It was forced upon us.
Yes. So, which honestly, if you think about it, it can create a cycle where you get in relationships, then you're cheating or you're stepping out on the relationship, you're having breakups, breaking home. So what is it about love? It has Black love, and I hate to say this because with the whole Remy Ma and Papoose thing, that used to be like the little hip hop face of Black love, and we see what's happening there. So is Black love just a myth now? Is it something that sounds good that we promote? Is it something that we just identify as struggle now? It has to be toxic in order for it to be real? Like, what are your thoughts in terms of the dysfunction that seems to be the case on Black love?
Black love is an ideal. It's an ideal. And it's an ideal because it is ideal. I don't know of a stronger pair of individuals on the planet than a Black man and a Black woman with the same vision. I think I think what they can accomplish is untold. So yeah, Black love is a real thing. I'll go back and say again though, you can't love what you don't understand. You can tolerate it. You can maybe even like it sometimes, but you won't love it because you don't really understand how it works. You don't really understand that when it does this, it actually means this. When it looks like that, it's because it's actually asking for this. I think that's what's missing. So, I think I gotta go off my point a little bit.
No, I think you landed. It's like,
I landed.
We'll come back.
You answered a question. So I'm a romantic, I guess, and I didn't even think of this but I believe in Black love. I think Black love does exist. I think the problem is we have such a high expectations of what Black love should look like that when we experience Black love in the form that we may experience it in, we don't recognize it as love. We might be like, oh, this was some BS, or we're quick to throw it away because at the same time, we're like, oh, Black love should be this happy ever after without recognizing that we need to work for this. And it's constantly working. And when I say work, people immediately get turned off. Like, what do you mean I got to work? Well, you work at going to work. You work at living your own life. So you need to work at your love too. And so that means showing up in the relationship, basically, showing up in your relationship, doing the things that you need to do to keep that relationship thriving and going. And that includes having communication and so forth. So, it may be because, like I said, I'm a romantic. I believe in Black love. I believe I have Black love. I've been married for 26 years. And so, whoop, 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 whoop. And so it took a lot of work. People are like, oh, how are you able to stay married for so long? Well, shit. Sometimes I ask that question too, but then at the end of the day, I realized it's because I was willing to put the work in. I was willing to do the compromise. I was willing to collaborate. And it comes from thinking of a different mindset of just thinking that, oh, we're going to be happily ever after and right off into the sunset, which is what Disney has fooled us into believing, and recognizing that, hey, it's a cooperation and collaboration throughout the course of a lifetime.
It's funny. Because I believe in Black love. Because it'd be hard not to believe in Black love when you're living it every day. Love you, baby. Right? You got to say that so I don't have no trouble.
That's nice. That's
but
smooth. Even
though there's some truth there. But real talk, 20 years, right? It's like, it's hard not to believe in it. We still like each other. So that's why I believe there's some of us who get that.
You can do that.
Yeah. But I think the problem is that one of the things I realize is that a healthy relationship can be boring. A healthy relationship may not be exciting. And so sometimes people get turned off of those things because, in other words, the way that Black love shows up today has changed throughout the years. Like for me, I think about Black love in the context of my son watching me interact with his mother, my wife, like, hey, this could be something that we can model for him. But some people may watch reality TV and model their love after the most popular couple, for example, in the moment. Or whatever celebrity couple is popping right now, they want to mimic that, right? Christian, Rock.
That's what I thought of.
Like, so even like one of the ride or dies for us, which was Will and Jada, and we see what that turned out to be for real to a certain extent, right? Bobby and Whitney, right? In terms of like the way that, if you think about through the years, right? Because there was a point where Thug Lovin', which featured Bobby Brown, and we kind of thought about Bobby and Whitney being the idea of Black love. So what I'm saying is, over the years, we've gotten these images of Black love that I just don't think were the healthiest. It was cool, it was popping, it was Bonnie and Clyde, but shit, did Bonnie and Clyde live happily ever after?
No,
they didn't. Right? And so somehow the Shakespearean version, in other words, the tragedy that somehow that tied into the thing that made us alive became normalized, I think, through social media. Where it's like, okay, yes, sometimes I ain't gonna hold you. My son gets excited about family night, right? And that means that we're watching 24 while he watches his iPad, okay? In the living room together. I know. This may not be exciting for some of you, but trust me, on our on days, it does get a little exciting. But the point is, sometimes you have to prioritize things differently, and I think appreciate things differently. And unfortunately, we tend to like the exciting. We tend to prioritize the drama and all of the extra energy. And I think that's what has people mimicking relationship behavior that tends to be toxic. It's unhealthy for the most part. So I do think there's a part of us that we've made Black love synonymous with struggle love. Now, I will say this, though, to the struggle part, because I do think when you've had to work for something, like, so we talk about 20 plus years, there was some struggle in there. Right? Early on, we were poor, kind of, right? Had to build together. There's a certain level of accomplishment that when you knew that, hey, we started off rubbing 2 nickels and now look at what we done did, right? So the struggle to me adds depth. Mm-hmm. It adds a certain level of we worked on this together. So I know when we hear struggle love today, especially Black people, oh my God, struggle love, that means I got to pay all the bills by myself. No, it does mean that things may get hard. It does mean we got to push through those things to keep moving forward. And I feel like that adds a certain level of permanence or a foundation. Like the fact that we were able to work through that and we still here. Like the biggest flex for me, low key, in my relationship, in my marriage, is the fact that we still like each other. The love is there, the respect is there, but we still be laughing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, dealing with the, sir together. So I feel like Black love still is there, and it does not have to be struggle for it to be Black. But I do think there's a lot of us that because our existence here has been filled with struggle.
Mm-hmm.
That part.
There's a part where we kind of relate to it. It resonates that we feel like it has to be like our future. It may have been part of our past, and it's a part of our present that we're shaking. But I do think we can work towards a better future, though, to that end.
I think you're right. I think what you're hitting on is a mindset thing, right? When we think of Black love, we do think of struggle love because it's hard to think of Black in America without thinking of struggle. You know what I mean? Our whole identity in this place has been nothing but struggle. Even now it's struggle. So struggle love, okay, it happens. Excuse me. But the idea is that struggle is where we start from. It's never where we stay. You know what I mean? So where we talk about struggle love, we forget to talk about triumphant love. Mm. You know what I'm saying? We forget to talk about all the things that this couple has overcome. Every couple that's been through hard times and is still together should really be closer because whether you admit it or not, no matter how bad your hard time was, right, Black people, you got past it. So you're really stronger. So you really triumphed. But you can define that period in your life by the struggle or you can define it by the triumph. And that's up to you.